going on, guys? It's Matt of the FF Mediators, and today I am by myself, no coach today, but I'm just going to do a quick video on the Jacksonville Jaguars and Evan Ingram, kind of give you my thoughts on what happened. I had a few people that reached out to me and asked me, should I be concerned about Evan Ingram? Should I be looking to move him? And I'm here to tell you, you should not. You need to be keeping Evan Ingram on your team, and I'm going to tell you why he's a dynasty hold for me or a buy if I'm on a contending team and I need a tight end. So let's start by remembering what happened. The Jags lost in Miami in a close game, and the Jags were leading most of this game going into the almost the fourth quarter. There was about 2 minutes left till the fourth quarter. They went on a 96-yard drive that ended in a fumble at about the 3 or 4 yard line. So, had they scored right there, where Etienne not have fumbled and just stumbled into the end zone because he was so close, they would have gone up by 17 points. And this is a big deal because it's an AFC opponent. It's the Miami Dolphins. So that's someone that they need to win against because of playoff seeding. And when we think about the script for how you stop the Dolphins, they were containing the deep ball and they just needed to hold on. That's really what they needed to do. Defense, hold on. Offense, let's just churn some clock. Let's try and get the ball into the end zone, get some more points, and just keep it away from Tyreek, Tua, and Waddle because you don't want that speed on the field. So, Tank Bigsby had a pretty good day rushing the ball. Travis Etienne, he had a good day rushing the ball. He was a little bit less efficient and he had the fumble, but I mean, we were 2 or 3 yards from him having 2 touchdowns and we'd be having a totally different attitude. The pass catching for the Jags, it's a little bit different this year. I mean, we've got the rookie Brian Thomas who got in the end zone. We've got Gabe Davis who actually led the team in receiving yards. And obviously, Christian Kirk is back. And then it's Evan Engram. And it's important to remember that while Evan Engram, yes, he had 1 reception for 5 yards. That's a bad day. He still had 4 targets. Obviously, you want more because last year he had 143 targets. That's a target hog as a tight end. And I think he's probably going to regress from that 143, but I'd still expect him to have a decent amount just because he's that good. And it's important to think too about how the Jags offense went that game. They only had 50 offensive plays. And to put that in context, last year they averaged 65 and they were pretty consistent on being around that 65 number. So 15 plays is a big deal. I mean, that's another target or two for Ingram. And there's a possibility where that turns into something. And, like I said before, they were running the ball to try and chew clock. So his availability kind of changed with, all right, we need to block. So he had 68% of the snaps, but the tight ends behind him didn't even log a target. So I wouldn't be worried too much about this being a situation like Likely, where, someone's coming in and trying to take Mark Andrews' job or work with him in 12-man personnel. No, this is if they're in 12-man personnel, they're running the ball. And Evan Engram is a guy that I don't want to fade because I think he's that good. That volume you can't get everywhere. And like I said, the script kind of is what restricted him from having his full potential of, 7 to 10 targets with 50 yards and you're hoping for the touchdown. Like, that's a big deal because he's an impactful player. Like, we know the position of tight end is something that you want to have solved. You need a big name tight end because you don't want to have to sit there and guess who's going to score the touchdown or, who's not going to give me a goose egg. And I understand Evan Ingram's coming off a game where he gave you 1 point or 1.5, depending on your format, maybe 2 if it's a tight end premium. But regardless, it's a situation that you want to have a piece of the pie. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be a solid offense that moves the ball. There's going to be points scored. And Evan Engram is a big part of that offense. I mean, we're just a couple weeks removed from the preseason. And yes, I understand it's the preseason, but he scored twice in a game. Like, he's involved. He's a red zone threat. He's a matchup nightmare on defense for a lot of teams because he's big and he's fast. And he's got solid hands. I just don't think you should be going to try and move Evan Engram by any means. I mean, stepping back and kind of recognizing too, he signed a contract a 3-year extension, I believe, and he got paid. So he's someone that the Jags envision themselves using going forward. And I'm going to trust the Jacksonville office. I'm going to trust the offense because I think he's going to be involved. And if you're asking me, Matt, what are you doing with your shares of Evan Ingram? I'm holding strong, plug and play this week against the Browns. Let's see what happens. If it's another bad week, then let's see why. Let's understand, is this a fluke or is this something that we need to be addressing and saying, all right, maybe we do need to pivot because like we always say, you need to be staying fluid. You need to be ready to make a move at any moment's notice. So if I'm a contending team, I'm still interested in buying Ingram. I'm not going to say it's a full hold for me. I'm going to buy because I believe on him and I want to make sure I have the tight end position solved for my team. And it's it's something you should be thinking about. I mean, he signed that contract. He's probably going to be fine this year and he's probably going to be fine next year. I don't envision any drop off coming. I don't think he's going to be suddenly unathletic. I mean, again, he looked great in the preseason. Had a conversation with someone who kind of thought maybe is this a regression to his New York days? I don't think that's the case. I think he's someone that's just had a bad night. I mean, that happens. It just happened to be opening night. We don't want to take too much out of context or take too much and just make a rash decision. So let's stay on top of this. Let's keep monitoring the situation and let's figure out what we need to do for our dynasty teams. But for right now, I'm recommending you just hold. If you can go buy them, go buy them. But for right now, I think you plug and play Evan Engram because he's a solid tight end that you need in your lineup now. And if you got any questions for us or if you've done a recent Evan Engram trade, comment below, message us over on X. Let us know. I want to hear what's happening with y'all's teams too. So that way we can talk about it as well. We want to be in the community with you guys, helping you win fantasy championships and helping you find ways to make your dynasty experience and your dynasty teams better. So until next time, guys, thanks.